Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another December daily process video doing my days 7 through 9. So I do three spreads, yes. And so I'm starting off with a day 7, and for day 7 I actually have this photo here. It's actually like a screen capture of my Animal Crossing island, and actually on like the morning of this day, like me and my friends were talking about all of the fun new toys and stuff that you can find in your shop now on your islands, and it's for a toy day. That's their Christmas on Animal Crossing. And so we were trading toys basically, and so two of my friends actually came over to my island because I had a toy that they wanted, plus there was so much good stuff in my Able Sisters shop. I had so many festive sweaters and like winter sweaters, and like I had a lot of good stuff. And so two of my friends came to my island, and like once they finished like getting everything they wanted, they kind of sat down in the middle of the road because it's a new reaction that our little characters have. And so I sat down with them and kind of took this screenshot, and it was just fun. And so kind of want to put that in here because Animal Crossing is very much still a thing, and it's just fun. And so for my day 7, that is what I did there. I kind of created like a little, just a very simple cluster. And the way that my pages were here, I had this piece of vellum in between each page, which was really nice. So on the other side, I'm actually just doing a very simple journaling spot with the same grid paper that I've been using throughout this little book. And I just kind of put some sheet music behind that, and now I'm trying to figure out which one of these little crepe paper stickers would match well, and they both pretty much match very well. I ended up going with the snow and cocoa though because it just looks more whimsical and fun, and it just fit really nicely there. And so I kept this spread really simple. You saw that I put my number 7 date. I just kind of stapled it onto the vellum there, and now I'm just doing my journaling. I actually kind of like, bubble wrote out Animal Crossing, and it didn't fit across the page. So I had to I just kept going with it. My G doesn't quite fit, and it looks kind of weird, but whatever, I just went with it. I just wrote Animal Crossing with friends, and just writing here how my friends John and Remy came to my island, and that's pretty much it for this spread. And so for day 8, I actually wanted to include this card that I received from my friend Jules. So me and my friends, since normally we usually get together on Christmas Eve just to like hang out. My friend who's out in New Mexico, he always comes down, and his sister who's in Philly comes back home, and we just kind of go to their parents' house and just kind of chill. Usually, but of course, because of COVID and everything, we decided not to do that, and so we're not going to see each other at all. Everyone's staying in their respective homes, but we've decided to do like a sort of like a handmade card swap thing. Or not necessarily handmade, you can hand make them or you can draw or whatever it is. And so I kind of want to include all of them in here. And so the first one that I received was from my friend Jules, and she sent me a lovely card and like some stationery that she's been meaning to give me for a while. And so I kind of hole punched the card straight into my book. It's just a tad bit wider than my pages, but I didn't have to trim anything down, and I'm just going to leave the little overhang there because I don't want to ruin it. On the inside, she wrote a really lovely message, and then she drew a cute little me, and it's just so precious. And so I really wanted to keep it in like as intact as possible, and so I just punched holes in and just leave it like have it there for my page 8. And then on the other side, I of course layered my little date day tab thing, more of that grid paper for some journaling. I used one of the cats from Kiki K, and then just a few stickers from the Snow and Cocoa sticker sheet. And then I'm just writing out my journaling of, how I received my first card in our swap. from Jules and how it's so sweet. And I just really like it. And so I think moving forward, whenever I do receive one of the cards from my friends, I am going to figure out how to include it into the book. Hopefully, they all kept it small or relatively small so that I don't have to cut anything down. But that's basically day 8. Very simple, kept it really simple, just adding that card there. And so for day 9, I decided to use the back of the card because I kind of want to make it feel like it's a part of my book. And again, it was almost perfectly sized for my book. And so what I've decided to do is just kind of cover the back with some pattern paper, and just to get rid of that logo and just to make it feel more a part of the book. The pages that I have though in my little kit are a little bit shorter because of course I made them all the same size as the paper. And so what I end up doing is I use this snowflake paper from the Crepe Paper Snowflake collection, and I just kind of glue it onto the back. And you'll see me a little later on cover up where the white of the card is. I actually use a different paper from, I believe it was another Crepe paper. I think it's from Snow and Cocoa, that I just kind of glued there, like where the holes are, just to cover up that white there. And then I do a funky little collage thing with some sheet music, but I kind of leave that as is and I start working on the other side. And so for day 9, I'm actually using a prompt from Seuss's prompts list that I have over to the side, and I forget which day this prompt came from, but basically the prompt is one thing you're working on. And what I think what I spent most of my day 9 doing, besides looking for a job, I spent a lot of it catching up on my YouTube watch later list. And so I've been terrible at watching the YouTube videos that come up on my subscription feed all year. I don't know what it is. Like once like quarantine and COVID hit, I just stopped my YouTube watching. And so what I would do is I would kind of look through my feed and like, oh, I want to watch that, and I just kind of put everything into watch later. Like I would just like watch later, watch later, watch later, watch later. So I would kind of like browse YouTube, but like put everything into watch later. And so I had like, oh my god, close to 50 videos in there. And so it was just hours, like literally hours of videos that I wanted to catch up on. And so I kind of rearranged them and grouped them by creator and just sat through them for the most part this day, or like half of the day, like the afternoon into the evening. And I just kind of caught up on my watch later list. I would try my best to like periodically like watch a few videos, but for the most part I watched the bulk of them on day 9. So I'm just kind of journaling here that because that was what I was working on. I was working on catching up on all of the YouTube videos that I just neglected to watch. And then I did a cull of my YouTube subscriptions. So there were just a lot of people that I just never watched their videos. And so I unsubscribed just to free up that feed of mine. So here I'm using the Snow and Cocoa paper to kind of cover up that white space you saw, and repunching the holes. And it just kind of looks weird. And so that's why I kind of go back into my little stash kit here and try to figure out what I can do on that page, because it looks kind of weird now with the 2 overlapping papers. And so here I just took a bit of sheet music and I am just gluing it onto the page, sort of kind of making a little collage, making it seem intentional that I meant to kind of put those that one piece of paper there like that. I don't know. And then I'm using these wood veneer. These are wood veneer snowflakes that I've had in my stash for ages. I found them at the Target dollar spot years ago, and they've lasted me a while. And I'm just kind of putting a few onto the page just to give it a little something and blend in with the snowflakes on the page. And that's pretty much it. Those are my days 7 through 9. These are the photos to follow. I really hope you enjoyed this quick little process at these pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!